Hello everyone, this is Drew from Best of Us Investors working with Mark on the Platinum Trading platform. So in February, if you have followed the stocks that we have found after analyzing more than 700 stocks or charts every week and invested only 100 shares each, you would have made more than $2,000 last month. Of course, we do see some losses, but we use more than 10 indicators to analyze the chart and make sure that our members minimize their losses and preserve as much gain as possible without taking huge risks. So for more details on stocks that are set up for great trades every day, along with education and chart analysis, indicators, and also want to be part of the weekly Zoom calls with Q&As regarding swing trades and investment, make sure you join our Platinum group and let's successfully invest and make it through this tough market together. So what's new this week, Mark?
So we've been busy this week. Abby V, we sold out a half a position. We got in this on the 17th, sold a half on the 24th, made about 2.39%. The reason was an RSI crossover. I wanted to preserve half the gains, but I wanted to maintain a position because we were up quite a bit. So we were up $185 on that trade. We're still in it for half a position. You can see we got it at 154. We're at 158.29. So it came down a little bit. It was up before. So we're still about where we sold it before. Performance Food here. It was kind of a short trade. We got in at 56.98, got out at 58.50, made about 2.67%. It was one day trade too. Sell limit, I put this as sell limit above the 50 SMA where was resistance. It went up and hit, and we preserved gains, and that on a 100 share trade would make us $152. Arthur J. Gallagher, we did the same thing we did with Abby V. Okay, we got in on the 27th at 185.66. Sold half a position or 50 shares at 189.30 on the 30th, made just under 2% in 3 days. Again, it hit a sell limit just above resistance, and we wanted to preserve the gain but maintain a position because majority of the indicators were still looking good. But I like to take a little off the table because, I can go out to eat on Friday night, maybe have a beer with what we're gaining over here, and I still have a position in. And we're already up in our position, so we set a stop limit above cost basis, and we're going to be guaranteed profits in a trade like this. So it's a win-win. Coca-Cola came off the Horizon list. The Horizon list, we'll look at that later. That's stocks that I look at that are beyond, they're not ready to be traded yet because they don't hit a lot of our major indicators. But on a week like this, you can see the stock went up and the indicators went up and hit and gave us a good time in. And this is the list I like to use basically to catch the bottoms where they start to swing back up. Like we always want to catch it right after we get a one candle close above the 9 and it's above the 200. That's where we get the most bang for our buck on most cases, not always, the majority of cases. So that's where the Horizon list comes. But on Coke, we got in 61.35. You can see it's 62.04 right now. We're up about 69 cents or $69 on a 100 share position. Kraft Heinz was this one doesn't move all that much, but this came off the Horizons list also. We got in at 38.60. It kind of flailed around, and yesterday we got out at 38.95 for just a little under 1% in 2 days. I put a sell limit again just above the resistance. It went up and hit. But a lot of times it hits, it goes above it, hits, and then goes back down, and that's what happened yesterday. So we made $35 on that, but I'll take $35. It's almost a percent. We have 280 trading days. If you do 280 trading days times a percent, that's 280% a year. I'll take that any day. Again, we're just looking for bunts, looking for singles and doubles. We're not looking for home runs. We're not looking for the tops or the bottoms. We're trading in between the lines. Here's an ETF, the pharmaceutical ETF. We got in at 76.60. It's currently at 77.41. And we're up 81 cents or $81 on a 100 lot trade on this one. Dow came off the Horizons list. We got in this at 52.91. It's at 54.60 at this point. So we're up $1.69 or $169 on this trade. Berkshire Hathaway, which I always like to own because even if I get stuck with Berkshire, I can keep it because I really like this stock. We got in at 304.25, 306.49 right now. So we're up $2.24 or $224 on a 100 lot trade. And then this one came off, these both came off the Horizon list. Gilead, 81.29. It's at 82.07 right now. So we're up about $78. So you can see we still have about $1,400 sitting out there that we could cash in right now if we wanted to. That would put us just around $10,000 in 3 months. This is the last day of the quarter. So we've been doing this for 3 months, and that would give you just around $10,000 just with these stocks that we've been doing. You can see we've had some losses, but if you follow rules and you add a little bit of common sense, this stuff can really work for you. So in January, we did about 32.81. If you remember January, I put these off to the side. January, we were up in the Dow over 1%. We were up 1.5% in the S&P. It was a good month in January. So, I would expect we're going to be up. February, by the way, the Dow was down almost 4%. The S&P was down 2.5%, and NASDAQ was down over 1%. And we still ended up with about $2,100 worth of gains. We had more losses there because the market was nuts, but we still, following rules, we still had paper trade gains of $2,100. And then here, again, in March has been really a good month. If we sold out everything we had right now, this would be $4,400 right now, just in March today. So you want to make sure you have a plan. You want to make sure you stick to your plan. You want to make sure you track what you do like we're doing here, and then adjust your plan accordingly as you see things that don't work or do work for you personally. So we talked a couple of weeks ago as a team here, and I was talking about, I've got all these stocks that I don't share, and you guys wanted to see them. I said, okay, I'll do the top 10 that I think are out there. And a couple of weeks ago, this was all red because the market went down. So again, these are not things we try to buy, but they would be things that we would get into had market conditions changed and have our guidelines indicators hit. So you can see United Health. I did this update a couple hours ago. United Health has gone up. You can see we're up since we put this on the list Monday. It's up $489. Okay. But the indicators hadn't hit. We're still below all the SMAs, at least this morning. And our stochastic was below the signal line. But again, if you're more risk adverse and willing to take a chance outside of the guidelines, this can go either way. Then we had Coca-Cola and Heinz. They both graduated to the watch list. Amgen, that's up to $198, $1.98, but it's still below the 200 SMA. But, I could start a list. I don't mind trading below the 200 SMA, but you just got to watch them a little more careful. You can make some money off of it, but it can go down really quick. So this one we could have put on the watch list, but it did not meet majority of, I don't like to trade under the 200, so I just keep it separate. But you can look on this list if you want and find it. Here we had the Dow and Gilead. They graduated to the watch list. Nextera Energy, price action is below the 200 in the SMA. It closed below the 9, but we're still up $61 on this since we put it on Monday. Here we have General Dynamics. It's been going up, still under the 200, but you can see we're up 393 since we put it on the list Monday. And then, of course, the pharmaceutical and Berkshire both went to the watch list, and you can see how much they've contributed. And so the Horizon stock, which is very risky, is actually up this week alone. If you had bought 100 shares of all of these, and I'm not recommending that at all, but had you done that, you'd have been up about $2,700. Now, a couple of weeks ago, had you done that, being that all the indicators went the other way, negative, I think it was down $4,200. So this is a real kind of a risky way to do things. And I don't recommend buying off this list. I recommend waiting until it goes to the watch list, and paper trade it over there.
Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. For more details and updates regarding swing trades, chart analysis, and stocks to watch each day that are set up for great trades, make sure you join our Platinum group so that we could get through this tough market together. See you all next week.